All right, gang, welcome back to our Luxury Tax Challenge here in Mecklenburg. It is now October. Today, not a whole lot specifically to do. We do have to mow the grass, which I guess is technically a lot. That does take us a while to do that. But as far as the actual specific crop fields go, not a whole lot to do. We're not going to be putting anything in our newly created rice field today, but we are going to be doing a little bit of work around the yard area. So I'd like to put down some more sheds here to try to resolve a bit of, the open air elements that we are exposing our equipment to here, given the fact that we removed the other shed. So we'll work on that today. I'm not sure what shed we will put down. I really haven't figured out any of that yet. But we'll work on that. We've got a lot more work to do as far as just your basic maintenance stuff. We've got to move the silage over to the TMR mixer. Digestate here, as you can clearly tell, needs to come over here and continue to process. We do have a decent amount of money. We made a good amount of money overnight, which is great, and that's just due solely to those 3 liquid fertilizer greenhouses that we have, which have been a true tremendous help for us. So very happy that we put those down. I think 3, as mentioned, I'm sure many times already, but I do think 3 is the sweet spot there. I think any more than that might be overkill, as in we'll be making too much money to make the series go too quickly. But I think 3 is a perfect prime spot for us. Gives us just enough money every month to be able to continue to do some stuff that we may want to do. And if we want to save it for a couple of months and not spend it, we can do that as well. How's everyone doing today? Ooh, lost my voice there for a second. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good here, man. Things are good. A little bit dark here because it is October. We do have the trees around us here, so it is kind of blocking the sun. The sun has not got that high up into the air yet because of it being in the winter or the fall type of months right now. But as we move along throughout the day, it will get higher. I don't think there was any more. I guess there's a little bit more of digestate in here. So we'll just bring it all over here because why not? We don't have any fields to put the digestate down on right now. With maybe the rice field potentially, but we don't have to do that right now. We're not going to be putting rice in until next season anyway, so we've got a bit of time before that happens. So we'll drop that off. Now we're going to go ahead and hook up to our trailer here. We're going to grab the silage and bring the silage on over to the TMR mixer. And then we will be taking the TMR out of that TMR mixer and put it in there for the cows. Now the cows are in a good spot. What I think I would like to do today is potentially, we talked about it in the last episode, didn't end up doing it. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze here. I might have to expand that a bit. Anyway, one thing I would like to potentially do is put down some kind of a manure heap. I talked about that last time a bit. Didn't do it then, but we might do it today. Who knows? But that is one thing we can do. Still, even without putting that down, they are making, the cows are making us milk. As you can see, very little milk, but they're making us milk. We've got plenty of straw in there for the time being. Capacity is relatively good. It's going to be a lot better once we move all of the TMR that we have made overnight over to it. But they're okay. I mean, I didn't buy that many cows to begin with on purpose, right? There's only 5 cows, so it's not a severe thing. Also think I want to maybe knock out this tree here eventually and put a bit of a track through here. I think I might have talked about that last time, but I do think it's going to be beneficial considering how close these two things are here and how much they need to work together a bit, right? I'm just driving right over top of this thing, but that's all right. All right, so we'll push that in there. And let's take a look at that, speaking of that, and see how it's doing. It needs hay. Okay, so we can get some hay. That's not going to be a problem. Actually, as a matter of fact, can we get hay? Yes, we can. We can get hay. So we just got to bring some hay over. No big deal. And then we can get this working again. There is 16,000 liters at current of mixed rations in here, so that's good. Probably enough mineral feed for the time being. Like I said, it doesn't really chew through a whole lot of mineral feed. We bought a lot of mineral feed up front on purpose, similar to why why we started to do all the things we did leading up to before we put the cows in, right? Trying to get everything prepped and ready to go before that time, just to save us from having to rush or struggle to get stuff done quickly, right? All about trying to work smarter, not harder. All right, hay. Plenty of hay in here. This is good. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to accept all this hay or not. I probably should have waited to fill this thing up to max. I think it will, but I don't remember exactly how much it holds. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 250,000 liters. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. Not going to be a problem. One other thing I want to do today is put down, I talked about this a bit, put down a little bit of texture, a little bit of groundwork, you know, gravel, whatever it may be, in this area here, trying to clean this area up, make it look a little bit better than it currently does, because right now it's just kind of stuff's planted in the grass here. We don't really have any kind of cohesion here, and we want to make sure we accomplish that. Okay, so the hay is going through. The hay is actually what is used the most, so definitely when we mow the grass today, we need to make sure we bring some more over here to get some more hay out of this, because that TMR is going to become a pivotal thing for us once the cows start to fully reproduce, and we've got quite a lot of cows in there, right? But that's going to be a good thing, right? The milk's going to be worth a lot of money early on, and then eventually we will utilize that milk for our ice cream parlor or whatever, ice cream factory, whatever it is we put in, right? So our grass field's ready to mow. Other than that, that's the only other thing ready to do today. This field is in a good spot. Doesn't really need anything else. I don't think. Let me just double check that now that I say that. Let me make sure the nitrogen looks good. For the most part, yes, it does. It does look good. I mean, it's going to be about as good as we can get in that situation, but it can get better. Now, one thing I do think needs to happen, I think our grass field needs some pH. It's going to be super expensive if I decide to do that. Like, super expensive. And we don't really have, I mean, we do have money, but I suspect it's going to take up most, if not all, of that money. So I'm not positive if I want to do that. I'm almost willing, since it's a grass field, to kind of turn a blind eye to the pH value there. More than likely, I'm going to end up doing that. I really did not give myself enough room here to turn around, did I? All right, let's put some mixed ration in here so we can go ahead and drop this off at the cow closure here, because that's going to help. And cows in there just looking happy. Gonna have to be careful here. This thing tips so high up in the air that it starts to hit the roof pretty quickly here. All right, how are they looking now? About half-ish way, a little less than halfway as far as the food goes. So yeah, they're looking good. Also, probably going to move the house today. We talked about that as well, right? So we're just kind of doing some maintenance, cleanup stuff, things like that. That's really what we need to do today anyway. That's our focus, at least. And then mowing, obviously, which mowing, you know, it takes a while, but it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad to do that. And technically, we don't have to mow today if we don't want to. I'm going to, but we don't have to. You know, if something else comes up that's better, we can do that. But I definitely think getting rid of that tree right there is going to be a helpful right there. And there's a couple other trees I think we should get rid of as well. As much as I love trees and I like the way that they look in this area, they are taking up just, you know, ample space for us, if I'm honest with you. They really are. So certainly when it does become time to start getting rid of the trees, we're not going to get rid of all of the trees, but we're going to get rid of some of them for sure. All right, how we looking there? I bet that's probably sufficient for the time being. 50,000 liters, yeah, it's going to be sufficient for now. So we'll go ahead and put this back over here. Now, oats, again, not going to be good now, but they're better than they were last month. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. There's still plenty of straw, obviously, but, you know, we're fine. That's just because we can take the straw out of the different productions we have them in. We've got all those bales of straw sitting on the side as well, so. All right, we'll unhook that. Perfect. Let's head on over here. We're going to grab the mower. And and we'll get started mowing the grass. Now, we still have that bale wrapper there. We haven't really utilized that bale wrapper at all. We used it one time for a contract. I think what I'm... well, I guess maybe I shouldn't say this. I was going to say, I think what I'm going to do potentially is... Actually, I don't really think it has any more wrap on it, does it? I was going to say, I think what I'm going to do is maybe use it until we run out of wrap, but it's going to be kind of hard to do that. You know, we'd have to pick the perfect field to be able to make that happen. I'm just kind of considering getting rid of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe I shouldn't, though, from what I talked about early on, right? I talked early on about, you know, keeping it for contract purposes, but much as it seems weird to say, I don't think we're too far off to a point where we're going to be doing contracts. Very well. How I was going to word that was not proper. We're not that far away, I think, from a point where contracts are going to be far and few between. That's how I should have worded it. We will certainly probably still do contracts every once in a while, every once in a blue moon, but it's not going to be a necessity like it maybe is at current. But we're getting close to a point where I don't even think it's necessarily a necessity anymore. We've got quite a lot going on. Really, it's going to be more of a necessity in the winter months. When the winter months come, we really have very little to do, if anything. Right? So, but we'll see. So you've seen me do this a number of times. Let's get started here. Let's get this done. And yeah, we'll probably be bringing most of the grass over. Well, we'll probably take a good chunk of it, turn it into hay, and then the other half will probably be put towards silage, I would think. I think that's probably the best bet, because the hay is what's required more for that TMR, which is kind of interesting. I thought it would be silage, but it's hay. So either way, let's get it going. All right, so clearly I decided to make the minor upgrade to our windrower width here, and you know, we kind of went back and forth on it in the past, but I think it was worth it. It's $10,000, which I know is expensive for what we got, but I do think it's worth it because, as you can clearly see, I can go right down the middle of 2 swath paths, and without a shadow of a doubt, know for a fact I'm getting everything picked up. So I don't have to go back and do any kind of follow-up passes, besides the exception of, like, you know, corners and things like that, which are a little bit more difficult to hit. But your traditional up and downs, you can clearly state that I am not having any issues whatsoever with those. So can you please unload? It will not unload these for some reason now. It did this a couple of times ago, and we couldn't get it to unload, and now it's doing it again. Let's do a quick autosave here. Let me see if I can pull up the menu here and see if I can get anything to happen. I had kind of figured it out before, but it's not working now. So, yeah, it's not going to work. Well, that sucks. That means I'm going to have to drive it back like this again. They're kind of glitched on there. I don't know why this happens sometimes, but it does. It's a little weird, right? A little weird. Oh boy, this I might not even be able to get back here now because I expanded the size of this. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm certainly not going to be able to get in that way. What are we going to do here, gang? I guess I could try to take this down. Although I'm not sure if it's going to allow me to do it or not. Let's just see what happens here. But yeah, that happened, I don't know how many episodes it was ago. It feels like it was an eternity ago, but we're not that far into this series. But it happened a while ago where I couldn't get them to unload. And that one just kind of fell through, if you recall there. It just kind of fell through to the bottom. So I think it's glitched again. So until I'm able to mow some more grass and it automatically drop them out without me trying to force them out, I don't think it's going to allow us to fold this thing up again. Taking an eternity to cut this thing down. I hope it's cutting everything. I don't have to cut it again, hopefully. I am going to have to cut it again. Man, that took an eternity just to cut that little guy. This thing is just spinning in the ground now. Okay, hopefully that's given us enough room now to get it through here. I don't know if I can get rid of these anymore or not. Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's try it one more time and see if it lets me drive through here. Oh, now I'm stuck on this one. Great. Please, 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 please. Okay, well, we made a path through, I guess. It could be worse. It's not great, but it could be worse. I'm just going to leave it right here for now because we're going to have to move some stuff around anyway when we put our new area here for the yard, right, with sheds and things like that. So I'm going to leave it there for right now. We'll jump into the Iseki here. We'll utilize the Iseki. We've been utilizing the Versatile the entire day, so we'll change it up. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back off because I don't like the menus on. There's already, I feel like, enough on the screen. It was a long time lapse, but you know, it was worth it. All right, we got the grass mowed and got that bit of a minor upgrade there. So I think it was worth it. Now, like I said, for these, part of this is going to go into the hay production, and the other part's going to go for the silage. I'm going to do a full trailer load for the hay, since the hay is the most utilized in regard to TMR, which right now I would prefer just to have a bunch of TMR loaded up and ready to go, as I've mentioned a couple of times, right? I'd prefer to have our TMR almost at a max state, and that way we don't have to worry about it for a long time. Now, did hit 10 o'clock, so we're back up to $74,000, so we're making some good money every hour here, which is great. We'll be back up to 81,000, or whatever it was when we started doing all the mowing here, before you know it. Now, it's not lost on me that, you know, doing what I'm doing here is going to prevent us from being able to make as much money. I get that, right? If I was just to go sell the silage outright, I'd make some more money. But in the long run, this is you know, a stronger plan, in my opinion. The milk is going to make us a ton of money. Because early on here, there's not a specific reason for us to put down the ice cream parlor early. We can if we want to, but there's not a specific reason for us to do so. So we can always just sell the milk outright at the beginning, if we want to. Although, probably putting down the parlor, we probably will make a little bit more money off of that. Now, granted, should we really make money off of that based off of the, you know, the series itself, like the Luxury Tax series? Probably not. That really should probably be going to the city. But who knows? We'll kind of figure it out as we go along, I guess, and decide what we want to do there. Okay. Okay, I think those are supposed to go in there. I'm sure they could fit, actually, in there. I'm sure they could. Yeah, they could. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick these up by hand. I think we looked at that last time. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. So I'm going to have to either push those in somehow or reload them onto here, but that's fine. They can stay there for right now. I'll move those here in a bit. Let's get the rest of the grass up off the field there and bring it back here, and we can put that in for silage purposes. Alright, got them all loaded up. It's not a full load, but it's pretty daggone close. 66% full, so we'll take that. That's pretty decent. Next time we mow, we obviously can put more into the silage if we need to, right? We can alternate back and forth as we need. But given the fact that, you know, for the TMR specifically, there's more required from the perspective of hay, then I think, you know, that was a smart investment for us to put the hay, we'll put this grass into, turned into hay versus more being turned into silage, right? Now, granted, I understand the silage is also providing digestate for us for the liquid fertilizer, which is important. But as you can see clearly, we have plenty of grass in the silage here, the fermentation here. So there's still some silage in there, and it's still got digestate going for us. So we'll take that. All right. So I'm going to actually reset this. I'm going to pick these up. Ooh, if I can drive through here properly. And don't get too close there, Z. There we go. Perfect. A little bit of a tight squeeze in here, but I've kind of made it that way. You know, trying to expand things and etc. But, you know, what's fine. We've got to get these things picked up, too. They're kind of right in the middle of the way there. Not really the most ideal situation for those to be in. Okay, so those are the main objectives we need to accomplish today. Now, the other objectives to complete today are pretty simple. One, obviously, work on putting down some sheds for the yard. And then two, move the house. And then three, kind of paint or put down gravel on the ground. That's kind of our goals here. So, you know, the telehandler we talked about, the wheel loaders we talked about, still on my radar to get one of these, but it's not going to be today, clearly. So I think first thing we do maybe is we move the house, I think. Because I like where the house is, but now I think it's best to move it. And I think over here is actually a perfect spot, as we talked about in the last episode. It's near the other houses anyway. Maybe we can find a bit of an upgrade too. Probably be good, right? Who knows? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It really depends on the price here. I don't want to spend too much money because we don't have that much money to begin with, right? So like one of these would be like one that would kind of, fit in with the theme here of what we're looking at, but that's 60 grand, right? I don't really think I need to spend 60 grand on a house right now. I would pretty much take all of our money. I could go with something like this. 10,000 is not a terrible price. Maybe looks a bit out of place here. These houses are, a lot nicer, obviously, than this is. All right, what else we got? 45,000 for this one. Yeah, I think we're just going to go back to our standard here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this little tiny house. There's literally nothing wrong with it at all, so we'll go with it. And we get rid of this guy, which is a different one than the one we put down, which that's fine. I think it's because I made this one up myself. That's why. So there you go. Bit of an upgrade, I guess, to an extent, but not really. All right, so that's done. So now we can look. We're probably have to move some of this equipment. I probably put the equipment in the worst spot possible, probably. But, we've got to figure this out. Now, we spent 9,100 and something, I think. I don't remember the exact amount. I wrote it down. Hold on. Well, I could probably go in the menu and figure it out. We spent $9,150 on that upgrade, so that's $915 that we put into the park. And then we're going to add whatever it is we spend here on a shed. I'm tempted to kind of go back to, what ones we utilize all the time, like one of these, right? We use this in the vintage survival, but I want to do something different. But those are such nice sheds, and they're not super expensive. I guess we could go with some more of these open air type of effect ones here where we can put a gate up behind it. But the problem with this one is this is a great one. I love this one, but it would cause a little issues. It would be hanging out a little bit into the pond here. It would cause some changes, I guess is how I'll put it, to the pond, which I don't really want to do. This one, probably the better bet. 3,000. It's an open air small shed, which we can put the back up on it. That's probably the one we should go with, and it probably will be the one we go with, actually. It's $3,000. It's not expensive at all. It's saying it's overlapping with another item, and that's just because it's the greenhouses there. All right, it is there. Let's take a look at it. Maybe floating a tiny, tiny bit there, but I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that looks good. I understand I'm blocking off the backside of the greenhouses there, but I can also put the liquid fertilizer in on that side. I did figure that out a long time ago, actually. Early on in the FS25 period, we did figure that out. One of my subscribers mentioned that to me, which I didn't think I really paid attention to begin with. Now, that is a great shed, but it's not going to be able to fit everything we have, right? My initial thought was to put a shed where I just had it, and then another one up against this side of the cow enclosure, but I don't think that's going to work. Now, could I have maybe moved this over a little bit more to the left? Probably. But would that have actually helped over here? Yeah, I don't think so. It had to be a very, very, very small shed. All right, now, what are we going to do for the ground texture here? I really like this sand effect here, and so I'm kind of considering, I know we already have this down, but, I mean, putting the sand underneath the shed, I don't think you would really care that much about having cobblestone underneath the shed, right? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I'm going to go with it. We'll see. Maybe I changed my mind. Maybe we spend some more money. It's not, I mean, it's expensive, but it's not super expensive to do this. So we can always change it again later. If we despise it once we get into it a little bit more. Now I am going to have to put down a little bit more of this cobblestone, which I think was... Was it this? What was this? Okay. I don't know. I don't love it. I'm going to leave it be for now. I don't love it, but I'm going to leave it be. All right, so if we're going to put down another shed, so that was $3,000, so that was nothing. Let's see what else we can find that would make sense here. So one of these is what we had started with, basically. It wasn't that one, but it was like this one, I think. Which is fine, but it doesn't really help you for the wide implements, right? This doesn't work for the wide implements. The other thing I had thought about doing, we kind of talked about this, was, and maybe that's something we can work on here in the winter months, because we're not going to have a ton to do in the winter months, but one thing I had thought about doing, as much as I like these trees, is removing this tree here and then these trees here. What that does is open up this area a little bit more. We make our new entrance, instead of it being here through the trees, which I do like, don't get me wrong, I really do, but we make the new entrance here, which has an ease of access to get to the grass field easier, right? I don't have to do, you know, kind of an angle to get to it. You know, make our entrance here, and then that opens up the yard area a little bit more. We still have plenty of trees, right? But it does remove quite a few of them. So that might be what we end up going with. Probably will be. The more I think about it, the more I like that idea. And it still feels super dark in here. Even though it's almost 11 o'clock. I guess it is cloudy, but feels like we're working at nighttime, and it's literally almost, lunchtime. So let's put the drills in here first and foremost. I'm going to try to put these back to back. If I can, when I say back to back, I mean in front of each other. One in front of the other one. Say it, word it properly there, Z. Come on, buddy. Get together. Which I think will obviously save us a little bit of space. I want to get these in here. Definitely want to get the fertilizer spreader in there. The mowers, I don't think I'm going to put in there. The plow and the cultivator, they don't need to be in there. They really don't. So I probably won't put those in either. Now, this would be great. I don't think that'll fit in there either. I think that's going to be a problem. Well, whenever we're able to actually fold it up, I think it'll be a problem. It might actually fit in there right now, but it's going to be sticking out pretty far. Alright, so there's that. But if we can get, some of this stuff put in there and clean it up a little bit, we'll actually, we can see a little bit better of what we're working with, what really still needs something to be undercover, etc., right? These trees are in the way, man. I mean, I guess I could put the wrapper under there. I know we kind of talked about getting rid of the wrapper, but I guess I could put that under there. I mean, there's like no bale wrap left in it at all. How much is this thing worth? It almost is worth just getting rid of it, I think. I mean, it's worth $18,000. It's probably worth getting rid of it. I'll put it in there for now until we make further decisions. Until we move along. Maybe if I continue to not utilize it for quite a while, then maybe I'll get rid of it. But it is a decent income for contract perspective, right? And we make good money off of the contracts we do with this. So I don't know, maybe it's worth keeping. I don't know. I keep going back and forth about this specific implement alone. Just this one is the one that continues to bewilder me on what I'm going to do with it. I don't know how to get these things off here, man. This is going to be a bit of a problem here. Yeah, there, it's glitched. There's nothing I can do. It's glitched. Alright, that's going to have to stay there for the time being, then. Alright, the only other thing left to do, really, today is before we, you know, go and work on doing a little bit of the park upgrades, is maybe we look at putting down a manure heap. So, let's look here. Silo extensions. I can't remember where it's. Maybe it's under container. No, it's not. Maybe it is under silos. It has to be. Yeah, here we go. That's liquid manure. We just want regular manure, though. Bunker silo. 10 grand. It's quite a large manure heap, honestly, but I think you could fit it right there perfectly. We'd have to expand the area again, but we'd probably need to expand the area a little bit anyway. It holds an insane amount of manure, that does. 10 grand's kind of expensive, but are we going to find anything better, though? Probably not, right? Probably not. Oh, that's huge. That's way too large. We don't need 3 million either. I mean, we'll be moving it out eventually before that. So yeah, I think that 10 grand's gonna be the one to go with here, gang. So let's put it down. Why not? I mean, it's gonna give us extra income or things we can put. You know, we can put the manure down on the fields themselves, right? So I think yeah. Let's. And I kind of want to put it up here. All right, maneuver heap is there. Now, hopefully, it says that there is a manure heap nearby now. It does. Okay, good. All right, good. Good. Much better then. Much better. Now we have that. All right, so that was 10,000, so I need to add everything up here. I mean, I can do it in the head, but, you know, I'm just going to do it to keep track of it in case we spend more money. So, 19,150... All right, so we are at $2,215 is what we had to put into the park right now. I'm going to kind of continue with our progress here of utilizing this sand over here. Is it probably what I should be utilizing? No, but we're going to do it anyway. I think I'm actually going to expand this a little bit too. Although, no, I probably shouldn't. I was going to say I'm probably going to expand this into the edge of this, but then this will be coming in the way. So no, we won't do that. We won't do that. I guess what I could do is just put. Oop, I ran into something there and it flipped the camera up in the air. I said I guess what I could do is put in some sand up here on the edge, right, like that. Let me touch that up now. There we go. I don't know. It's kind of growing on me a little bit. I don't love it, but it's kind of growing on me. Alright, so let's do the same thing over here if we can. Now these trees are going to be in the way again too. I probably need to check the water on the greenhouses too. Haven't done that yet. Yeah, I'm going to put the sand here too. Alright, and then same thing here. A little bit of sand going across. Now there's nothing I can do about that little like sidewalk road type of thing. There's nothing I can do about that. These trees are going to cause so much mayhem right now. I can already tell you that. These trees are going to be the bane of my existence. Oh my gosh, these trees, I'm telling you. Is that enough? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to test it out, right? I was going to say, is that enough room for us to get in there and turn to come in this way whenever we need to blow the straw into the actual pin itself? I think it is, but it could be wrong, right? All right. Now I know I said I was going to, work on, building a, some kind of a track or something over to here, but I'm going to hold off on that for right now. I'm relatively happy with how this turned out. I think this looks relatively good. We've got stuff in a shed now, which is good, and it's not a completely open-aired shed like we had started with. So that's a bit of an upgrade, in my opinion. I think this looks relatively good here. How are the greenhouses? Let's look at those really quick. They need water, so let's get that out of the way here. You know what? Let's use the Iseki. We haven't used that. Besides getting up the bales, we haven't done anything with the Iseki today. Yeah, I think that's enough room for the turn to come into here. Because that's, what we're utilizing to chop the straw in there, it's not that large, so I think that's fine. I think that's fine. We definitely don't want the greenhouses to stop between now and the next episode, right? So, that's one of the main reasons here that we want to make sure we get these things filled up. I'm so happy we went with this bit of an unrealistic tank, too, because this is a huge time saver. The sand is kind of unique. I kind of like this. It's like, putting bigger grooves in the ground here, and you can see the bumps and stuff. I kind of like it. This should do it. They should all be in a good spot now with water. They've got a decent amount of liquid fertilizer. Is it as ideal? No, but they've got, most of them have at least, well, they've all have at least around 50%. So, that's not terrible, right? It's not terrible. Fill this thing back up, and then we can head to the park. Alright, let's head to the park. We don't have a ton of money to spend in the park today, but, it's something, right? 2,215 bucks, if I remember. Yep, that's 2,215 bucks we've got to put down. Okay, so... Maybe we start working on something besides a secondary basketball court. I want to put another basketball court in. I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit about the basketball courts as well. So I like the one where we have here. I think I'd put a second one right here, and I think that might be the extent of the basketball courts we put down. Maybe I change my mind later, but I think that's probably the extent. It's going to be very difficult, and I'm probably going to have a bit of OCD about it, where if it's not perfectly the same length, it's going to probably drive me crazy. So I don't know. I may I may change my mind again on that as well, I guess, but we'll find out. All right, what else do we have here? This thing is huge. Look at this farm barn. This thing's huge. Like, that would be good for, like, you know, if you were going to have, like, weddings and stuff at this kind of park, if you wanted to go that approach. I don't know if you would want to, but that would be kind of cool. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Guess we need to go to decorations here. Okay, let's see. What can we put in today? I mean, maybe the swing sets, maybe that would be good. $20 for this. Doesn't really get us a whole lot closer to where we want to be at, does it? Well, we can definitely put this in. It's only $20. I understand that, but we can definitely put this in. I'm kind of leaning towards putting this here, kind of expanding this area out here and making a big area for bikes. I think that makes some sense. Or I guess we could go over here with it. Yeah, let's put it over here, I guess. So let's do a little painting here first. So we got 61,885 right now. That we'll try to keep an eye on that so we know. Why is that expanding so far out, but then the grass isn't removing? You get what I'm saying? Weird, right? That's alright. Okay, so then we need to go over to decorations again and then find those. Should be coming close here. There we go. Okay. Which way should these be? Are we going to need this many bike areas? Probably not. Probably not. But I'm going to make sure I give myself plenty of room for the bikes if they want to have that many. All right, how many clicks is this? I say clicks. How many clicks is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? 16, 17, something like that? As long as it's close, I guess we'll go with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Is that perfect? No, it's not. It's you can already tell that that's too far away, actually, just looking at it. All right, I'm relatively happy with that. Now, Let's do a little bit of fixing up here. Let's paint some more grass. Okay, put some more grass down. Okay, I'm relatively happy with that. Now, we didn't spend a ton of money on that, but that is at least one other upgrade we've made that's not just on the parking lot, right? That's all we've been really focused on is the parking lot. So I'm okay and happy with how that turned out. I think I'm going to add a little bit of grass this way here, if I can. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So we'll add a little bit of meadow grass back into here then. Same thing over here. Okay. And then what I think I want to do is grab a fence here. I don't want it to be anything crazy, just a smaller size fence that kind of runs around the edge with it here that, you know, secludes it off a little bit, I guess. That's not going to work. That's too large. I think that's going to be the biggest problem, is finding something that works that doesn't look out of place. I think a lot of these are going to look out of place. Perhaps what we need to do is figure out what kind of fence we're going to put around or down the edge excuse me, here, and use that same thing here. It's probably going to be one of these type of old school fences like this. I kind of like the way these look, and I think this makes sense in a park. I see these in a park around where I live, so all right, let's go take a look at that. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm very happy with that, actually. I'm very, very happy with that. All right, so we're going to start this fence here. I'm going to start it here. I might have to change it later on, but we're going to start it here. And, I mean, I think we already spent the amount of money we need to spend, but I'm going to put down some more. I'm going to put down the fence here. I'm just going to keep it going here. Yeah, that's going to work out perfectly. That's going to work out exactly how I wanted it to. All right, we have spent more than the amount of money we needed to spend today, so we are good, and we're going to leave the episode at that point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button for me. Both those things help me out an absolute ton. Thank you so much to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough, and until next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.